Oh boy, alright, I'm gonna try my best here not to make anyone angry, but considering my skill level, we'll see if I succeed or not. For context, I'm a very casual player of the CS franchise. Most of my experiences with CS source from way back when. I never played too much of Global Offensive, something about it just never really clicked with me. So you're getting a review of this game from a very casual perspective, not someone who's deep in the community or understands the competitive scene on any real level or anything like that. I'm just an outside observer who decided to try it out on a whim because my game got updated and it's actually kinda sticking with me now. Shocking, I know, so let's get into exactly why this version of one of Valve's oldest and biggest IPs has actually got me wanting to play more this time around. This is Counter-Strike 2. So, to start things off, the Source 2 engine makes this game look much better than Counter-Strike has ever looked as far as I'm concerned. Every map has been completely remade in the new engine as well, retaining the same layout while having far more attention to detail. The new effects are really good too. The fire looks far more dynamic and the smoke physics work really well with you being able to shoot your way through it as a method of carving past the obscuring gray, and hopefully hitting any potential enemies on the other side. Though as you may or may not see in the footage, that doesn't really work for me. The music is just as good as you'd expect, with everyone also retaining the music packs that they had from Go, alongside all of the old weapon skins getting a revamp on the new, much better looking gun models. I do have a friend who could go on a whole rant about how a bunch of these guns are horribly inaccurate to their real-life counterparts, but in general the guns look good, and I even heard that certain skins have jumped in value due to the higher quality graphics. All of that is to be expected, really. That's one of the main selling points of this new version to begin with, and I'd say Valve pulled it off pretty well. Next up is... story? Look, I know I got a format and the story comes after the presentation in that format, but what am I gonna say here exactly? I know nothing about Counter-Strike lore, which I know exists, and there are some people that are super into it, but it all exists outside the realm of the game itself. In-game, there's effectively no story whatsoever. Some terrorists are trying to plant a bomb or take hostages, and the counter-terrorists are deployed to save the day. Hopefully. As far as what any of this means in the greater lore found in the comics and stuff like that, I have no idea. Maybe I can try to research that and make a separate video on the topic, but since I'm reviewing the game itself and the story has little effect on the game, if any at all, aside from maybe some skins, I won't delve too deep into it. Instead, let's get to the important part, the gameplay.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Got cat.
Outdoor. 2. Nice. Last guy.
Last one, mark it.
Do it to him. Do it to
He's
him,
lit,
bro.
he's lit.
Knife his ass. He's reloading. Knife him, bro.
Dude, I wanted
so
it so
close.
bad.
Gotta listen for that reload sound, big dog.
Now, I have heard some people complain about the gameplay before, both in terms of content and feel. While I can't really say much as to whether the gunplay feels genuinely better or not this time, I have to say that I do enjoy it. I think maybe people are still getting used to the non-tick system being used now for things like hit registration, so the reflexes of some older players might be just a bit off right now. Not that my reflexes are any better, believe you me, I'm awful at this. But in general, I do enjoy the gunplay and find it to be reasonably fair. I can usually pick out why I got killed, be it I got flanked, I was too slow, I was spraying too much, moving too much, or I just wasn't aiming quite right. I haven't had a situation that felt totally unfair, is what I mean. Now, as far as content goes, I have to ask the people who are upset about losing old game modes, How many of you actually played war games on the regular? How many people even know what Flying Scoutsman is? From what I can tell, not many, and Valve trimmed all the game modes that most people never touch in favor of having the core set of game modes available to everyone on release. They'll most likely add in the other war game stuff later in updates, but what's important is that the core game is there, and I think some of it is actually better now. You've got your usual competitive mode, which is, well, competitive. Notoriously sweaty, tense, and frustrating depending on who you're playing with. I did one round of 5v5 competitive just to be sure, and yeah, not much has really changed there as far as I can see. I just got lucky and got a team of really nice people. Valve has also decided to keep Wingman in the game at launch, a variation on competitive that uses smaller map versions for a 2v2 fight instead, which I have promptly stayed away from. I'm bad at competitive as it is, I am only a burden in that scenario. You've then got Casual Mode, my personal favorite. Not just because it's not ranked and filled with tryhards, but also because it actually feels casual this time. Casual Mode is a 10v10 rather than a 5v5, doubling the standard player count and creating a chaotic mess on the rather small maps that Counter-Strike is known for. It's a mess of bullets and grenades, and I love it. It's a low-stress way of enjoying the game that keeps me coming back this time around. And finally, there's Deathmatch. Don't let the team selection screen fool you. Deathmatch mode is a total free-for-all, which, combined with the spawn locations, makes things even more chaotic. If you just want to fix up your gunplay a little bit, go ahead and try that out. Just be aware that your spawns may just suck sometimes.
Yikes. Cat. Apps. Another apps.
Oh man, I've been double dinked.
Well, I tagged him up.
Mark it. Mark it.
It's good shit right now.
Why is he here?
Terrorists win.
They're gonna have
Why
an
was
off.
that guy way over there?
And those are my thoughts on Counter-Strike 2. I hope I was able to get across my feelings for this game as a very casual player. Normally I don't talk about or even play these games, but I felt like the fact that I keep hopping back on to play CS2 this time rather than just getting frustrated and uninstalling really says something about how this game manages to appeal to non-hardcore players like me. And I think that's worth talking about. So I hope you enjoyed this little discussion. This has been TheRatMan, and I will see you all later.